30 days after Istanbul, financial systems stabilized but fundamentally altered. New transparency protocols implemented across institutions. Vulnerabilities exposed by Ibrahim's demonstration, now being addressed through structural reforms. The official narrative labeled it a sophisticated attack, halted through coordinated intelligence response. The truth remained compartmentalized, known only to those who stood in the Hagia Sophia's dome. The art of the intelligence operative lies not in gathering information, but in deciding what portions to reveal. Jensen's debriefing represented truth through the lens of institutional necessity. Ibrahim Nazari remained officially deceased. The transformative nature of the attack reframed as conventional cyber terrorism. The system protecting itself even as it evolved. Washington runs on selective understanding, the version of events most useful to continued operations. 30 days of investigation had produced a narrative that preserved institutional integrity while implementing necessary reforms. A controlled adaptation rather than revolutionary change. Evolution within acceptable parameters. The most significant conversations happen in plain sight. The aftermath of Istanbul had created strange partnerships. Not alliances exactly, but realignments of understanding. Ibrahim Nazari remained dead in official records. The man who had taken his place moved through academic circles now, consulting on financial security from a theoretical distance. The system Ibrahim had sought to transform had instead absorbed him, not as enemy, but as necessary counterbalance. The illusion of death providing freedom to operate from the shadows, guiding implementation of reforms exposed by his own attack. The ultimate poacher turned reluctant gamekeeper. Enemies make poor allies, but effective partners. The understanding forged in Istanbul's ancient dome had evolved into something more nuanced than friendship or opposition. A recognition of necessary balance. The system required both protection and periodic challenge to avoid stagnation. Institutional integrity and revolutionary pressure existing in permanent tension. The official response to Istanbul had been predictable. Increased security, enhanced monitoring, institutional adjustments that preserved the underlying structure. What Ibrahim now provided was the shadow assessment, the vulnerabilities that remained, the reforms that didn't go far enough, the new threats emerging in response to changed conditions. The game had changed but continued. Istanbul had transformed not just financial systems, but the players themselves. Jensen's official role remained intact, but his understanding had evolved. Ibrahim operated from the shadows of presumed death, and Viper had disappeared into her own narrative, following a separate path with its own purpose. Trust after betrayal is never complete, never unconditional. The new equilibrium existed in constant tension, official mandate, balanced against shadow knowledge. The system and its necessary critics engaged in perpetual dance of opposition and collaboration. Zurich, where the financial crisis had first been demonstrated. Now the city of banking discretion was implementing the most comprehensive reforms, not by choice, but necessity. Survival requiring adaptation, and seated at the center of this transformation, Viper, reborn with new identity, but unchanged purpose. The most effective reforms come from within. Viper's path had diverged from both Jensen and Ibrahim, not in opposition to either, but forging a third approach. While Ibrahim worked from academic shadows and Jensen navigated official channels, she had embedded herself directly within the system, guiding transformation from its core. Crisis creates opportunity for reform and exploitation alike. The financial system's evolution had displaced certain interests, created vacuums of power, established new territories for competition. The Istanbul Code had been contained, but its demonstration had inspired imitators, opportunists, new predators adapting to changed conditions. The aftermath of systemic disruption follows predictable patterns. Old powers adapting, new threats emerging, vacuums being filled. The intelligence Viper had gathered through her financial position aligned with Ibrahim's academic observations and Jensen's official reports. Convergent evidence of something forming in the post-crisis environment. Chimera, named for the mythological hybrid. Neither one thing nor another, but a fusion of capabilities. An entity born from the Istanbul crisis, learning from both the attack and the response. Not seeking to replicate the code exactly, but to evolve its approach. Adaptation in action, the predator developing in response to changed environmental conditions. Recognition exists at the edge of consciousness. The woman connected to Chimera carried echoes of someone they had known in another context, another operation. The intelligence world's revolving door, creating strange continuities. Assets becoming adversaries. Counterparts becoming collaborators. The past feeding the present in unexpected configurations.